Hey everyone! So, this isn't my usual backdrop, or, any of my usual backdrops, because I'm currently in my boyfriend's house, and I'm going to be filming my Fall into Fantasy Readathon Tbr. That's right, another readathon. Oh, Fall into Fantasy Readathon is about reading as many fantasy books as you can within the 18th through the 25th. There are a bunch of different challenges, 8 challenges to be exact, as well as each day you get to buddy read with a different host for different books. Now you don't have to read all of those books, you can choose some of them or choose not to read them at all, but I picked a couple as well as other things that fit the challenges. First I'm going to go through the stuff that I'm going to be buddy reading. The first one is going to be The Forest of a Thousand Lanterns. This is by Julie C. Dow. This is going to be a buddy read with Haley's in Bookland. I love Haley so much, so excited for Book of Sisters. I will link her channel down below and her Fall into Fantasy Readathon announcement video. The next one on the 20th is Brilliant Death. This is by Amy Rose Capetta, and I'm going to be listening to this, and this will be a buddy read / read along with Problems of a Book Nerd, and then her channel will be listed below too. And the last read-along, buddy read, I still don't know what to call it, that I'm going to be participating with, is Beasts Made of Night by Tochi Danyabushi. I totally butchered that. But this is with Naya Reads and Smiles, so I just had to read it. And it looks like it's going to be a very short read, so I'm ready for it. Now, as I said before, there are 8 prompts, so we're just going to jump right into it because I have a lot of books beside me. So the first prompt is start a new fantasy series, and although this is going to surprise some of you, I've never read the Throne of Glass series, so I'm going to start it. And I've heard it's really good. Kingdom of Ash just came out, like, end of October, mid-October. So this is by Sarah J. Maas, if you've never, ever seen these covers, but it's been all over BookTube for the past couple years. So I'm going to start this, and then once I get through this, I'm going to move on to the second prompt. The second prompt is read a fantasy book that's been on your TBR for way too long. Now this has only been on my TBR for a year, but I'm going to read Caraval by Stephanie Garber because this was already in my TBR for the whole month of November, and it just fit the prompt perfectly since I've had it for a year now, and it's just been sitting on my TBR waiting to be read. So the next prompt or challenge, I think I've been saying prompts, but I think it's interchangeable, is an LGBTQ fantasy. And for this, I'm going to be listening to Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Colehurst. Emma Books just recommended this in her latest favorite debut author video thing. I'm going to link that below because it was really good. And so I'm going to listen to that, and if it's as cute as she says it is, then I'm ready for it. So the next 2 prompts is read a diverse fantasy and read a fantasy with multiple POVs. And for this, I'm picking Six of Crows because it meets both of the challenges, and this copy's really cool. It's got like this, would you say sprayed edges? I don't know, but super cool. I love Leigh Bardugo. I loved the Grishaverse, so I'm really excited for this. Also, I'm sorry if these library copies have a glare going for them. You just gotta work with me here. So number 6 is a new fantasy, and for this I'm picking Blanca y Roja by Anna Marie Miclemore. And this is technically magic realism, and some people could argue that's not fantasy, but Goodreads lists it as new release fantasy, so I'm gonna read it. Also, I think this was in a recent uppercase unboxing, I want to say, but I'm not sure. So the next one is read a fantasy sequel. And for that, I'm going to be reading the second book in the Raven cycle, and that's by Maggie Stiefvater. I'm going to be listening to the first, and then my friend is going to lend me the second book. So yeah. And lastly, it's read a BookTuber recommended fantasy. And I could say anybody on BookTube has recommended this, but A Clockwork Reader, I believe, is the one who absolutely adored this book and still does, and it's The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I've heard this is beautiful, and this was, again, like Caraval, already on my November TBR, so I'm just really excited to read it. It's a little bit hefty, but I'm sure I can do it. I'm so excited to finally get to this book. As a buffer in between books, I don't know exactly when, I'm going to be reading the second volume of Cucumber Quest by Gigi DG, and that is The Ripple Kingdom. I read the first volume for my last readathon, which was Spookathon, and I'll link that video down below. So it was a nice little buffer back then, and I'm sure it'll be a nice little buffer now. So yeah, that is all of the books I'm going to attempt to get through for this, I believe, 8-day readathon. Let's see, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. So yes, 8 days, 8-day readathon. And I'm hoping to get through a lot of books. But I will be vlogging all of that, and I really hope you guys come back to watch it. And yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up and share with your book-loving friends. And if you guys are participating into Fall Into Fantasy, comment down your TBRs. I'm so interested to see what everybody else is reading. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!